welcome to the graduation show at URTV Community Television. My name is Allison Hill. I'll be your host for part of this evening. And tonight's guest is Joe Scotto. And Joe Scotto is completing an associate's degree in hotel and restaurant management. And we're going to talk about the hotel industry tonight with Joe Scotto. Welcome to the show, Joe Scotto.
Well, thank you, Allison. Thanks for having me here.
Well, tell me a little bit about the degree that you're doing. What are the things you've been concentrating on?
Facilities management and planning. We had to design our own hotel restaurant, design our own room. We have a live environment at the school where we create our own restaurant and manage it, both in different services, classical services, and.
Now tell me real quick. How did you create a room? Did you create it physically or on?
You had to actually architecturally draft it out on paper to scale.
Right.
So you had to come up with your theme. Let's say if I wanted my room, you were given a certain amount of square feet, and you had to design it according to how big your furniture wanted to be, what you wanted to offer the guest that you thought was special. So you were marketing your personality in your room or what you wanted to do. It was a lot of fun.
And what kind of room did you have?
I just went with the standard room. I didn't.
It's like that ad. There's a bed.
There's a bed.
Tables,
I put
chairs.
flat screen TVs in.
Wow. A mini bar?
No, I didn't have the mini bar, but I did have a refrigerator, microwave, and a space for an iron, so that
Right.
you talk about different amenities that you would like to offer your guest. And we had a budget that we were supposed to work in,
Right.
and but that was just one class. I mean, it's been a phenomenal program and a wonderful experience.
Now, when people plan their vacations, they're going to Barbados or Bahamas or whatever. How important is having good accommodation for a great experience in a resort town, for instance?
I think 2 points. One is communicating the accommodation so that you want to exceed your guests' expectations. So if you have a commercial and you're telling the guests they're going to get this certain type of thread count for their sheets,
right.
then provide it. If when they show up, make sure that the room is ready for them on time. Make sure it really is a lot of just service orientated, listening to what the guests and don't make promises to the guests that you can't keep, and providing above and beyond service. It's an experience when you go out to eat, when you're going to a hotel, when you're going on vacation. The product is the experience that you take away with it, and
right.
I think if your guest is happy and you're listening to them, also listen to your guests, because
it brings them back.
It brings them back
next year, and their friends and whoever else they tell. Now, okay, so you designed a room in a hotel. You designed a restaurant as well?
We had to create our own restaurant also, and the same thing, we had to design it to scale,
right.
And it was part of a facilities management class. And my restaurant I designed was called Catfish Joe's. And
Catfish Joe's?
Catfish Joe's, Memphis Eats. And there are different elements that you think of that when you're building your restaurant. The percentage of space allocated for your kitchen, how many bar seats,
right.
And traffic flow, your bathrooms, where you're going to locate them. And we were given the basic, what you're given is a square footage and a budget. And then the rest is up to you on how you want to design the restaurant.
Right.
How many seats you want to have at your bar, how much space you want to take up. But as a business point of view, also when you're building or designing your restaurant, if you were going to buy it, you have to think of people working in the kitchen, or your money is where people are sitting down. So you want to maximize your space, and you also want to keep in track service, because if there's not enough space allocated for traffic flow, for ergonomically, for picking up tickets, for getting the food out properly, then your guests are not going to be happy also, and you're going to run into problems. A lot of restaurants, don't have that allocated, and that's why you have to wait. And but.
So, if you were managing a restaurant, for instance, are you one of these people who would come out and ask diners, how was your meal?
Absolutely.
You would come out, because not everyone does that, right? I mean, you don't get that everywhere.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the main priorities is guest interaction. You also while you call it walking the floor, or you're interacting with your staff too. If it's a wonderful industry, a wonderful business, but you're dealing in a live environment. It's like the theater. You're dealing in a live environment, so it's not the same. It's not the same things are not going on all the time. So if you're not out there, meeting, greeting the guests, and it's like you're inviting people over your house to eat. How is that?
Yeah.
Please come again. Would you like that? That's an important part. And it's more than a job. It's fun. It's fun to do that. But yeah.
Right. Okay. So what you do this degree? How long does it take? And then where do you go afterwards? I mean, where do you start in this industry?
Well, the industry is actually booming. It's a two-year associate's degree program, and when you come out from the management program, you can take this degree and go anywhere. You can even, if you wanted to, you can continue your education and get a bachelor's and expand. But most companies today, hospitality companies, have great training programs, great hiring, and the associate's degree really gets you moving. And also, I think. For me, I was in the business a long time, and then I decided to get a formal education, and it's really
helped. So you're working in the industry right now.
And it's helped me. It's helped me in communicating better, and so you can really take the degree, and you can go into, like, if you were going into the hotel, you can go into rooms, you can go into food management, you can go food beverage, you can go into sales if you'd like. The degree is wide open as far as where you want to go.
So you can go to Hawaii.
Well, one of the great things, I'll be honest, one of the great things about the hospitality industry is that you can get a job anywhere internationally. If you can work for a company, and then if they relocate, you have to go with them. If you're kind of limited. But with the hotel and restaurant industry, one of the great benefits is that you can choose where you want to live. And you can go and work.
And there's a hotel everywhere.
And there's a hotel everywhere, and you can really have a good life and enjoy yourself. And
So where you planning to go, Joe?
I love Asheville. I'll be honest with you, I love Asheville. I really don't have any plans to leave this area.
But if you ever go to Jamaica, hook me up.
Oh yes, I will. Absolutely.
Now, how do people, if you're going online, you're looking for a vacation, you see a good deal on one of these websites, you get the flight, the hotel, and the rental car. How do you know what you're getting in a hotel? I mean, how much advertising in that context is there? As
far as the services that the hotel is providing in your package, see, that really varies, and it depends on who you're booking through or... The best way to really confirm or check up on where you're going as far as how reliable your accommodations are going to be, there are a number of websites that are independently monitored by guests, and this is a fairly new rating system where me as a hotel owner, I don't have any. I don't have any influence over. You're a guest. You come to my hotel. You can go online and write a review, and it's viewed by lots of people. So it's kind of a really good checkpoint. And it's also, if you're a guest and you're saying, I wonder how that hotel, whether they provide those services. And you can check all these sites and see personal reviews from guests and judge for yourself.
Yeah, well, it can make or break a great vacation. You may be in paradise, but if the toilet's not flushing in your hotel room, it's going to be a nightmare. If your
absolutely.
sheets, if the bed is uncomfortable or
absolutely
or whatever, and
that's one of the things in the industry that's really important as a manager and. If you're an owner, I mean, you really want to make sure that guest comes off with an exceptional experience above and beyond what they expect. You want to exceed their expectations. And a lot of ways, too, like I said, it's a live environment. So that not every guest, if it's raining the day the guests are coming off the plane, you have to switch your mentality and think of how can I accommodate these guests when they're coming in as far as, is it cold out? Can I talk to food and beverage, and can I run some tea specials tonight? Can I have complimentary tea when they walk in, a hot cocoa when they walk in the door? If it's a sunny day out, maybe I'll have I'll talk to the food and beverage and say, can we run? Can we have some iced tea, and to meet the guests? And just thinking ahead and thinking about making people's stays exceptional. If it's raining, like, do I have umbrellas? Simple things.
Yeah.
Do I have umbrellas? Do I have extra staff on
I want to
outside
come to your
meet
hotel.
them?
I mean, I could just, I'll be stepping out of the
restaurant too,
limousine.
though. Yeah.
I'll step out of my limousine and you'll be there with a parasol,
Absolutely.
right?
Come on in, welcome. But this is this is one of the great things about it.
But you look like you're wearing a suit, and you look like you're a friendly person. You look like
I'm pretty
really
friendly. I'm pretty friendly. I enjoy people.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to, right? I mean, in this kind of industry, because it's very
and
face-on.
if you are intending to go in the industry, I mean, I would suggest working in it first and getting a feel. But if you like people and enjoy interacting with people, and also if as far as the food end too, if you are creative and you love food and you have that ability, then it's definitely a wonderful career to follow, and it's just wonderful to have that influence on people because you are making people happy. I mean, you can't be responsible for everyone's day, but pretty much if you are providing food and a great experience, then people are going to take that experience, your guest, and they're going to carry it with them and pass it on to the next person they meet. And also cuisines, if the industry offers the opportunity to share so many different cultures and cuisines that normally people would not get to share and experience, and that's just a wonderful thing too about it.
How important is things like music in a lobby of a hotel and in a restaurant?
Very important. You said like we were talking about designing the restaurant. You take each element as far as where you want to take the guest and where you want their experience to start. Let's say if you were coming to my restaurant or a restaurant and I had valet parking, right? And you talked about music.
Right.
Well, what type of menu am I running, right? Well, I'd want that music maybe in the parking lot, as people walk in, just to get them in the feel. Maybe I would like if I had the opportunity, maybe I'd put someone outside grilling, just to bring that in. But it's very important. They're all components, your color, themes, and also organizationally when you walk into the dining room or the bar, or you want to make sure that it's not chaotic, so that when you walk in, you're always it's always going to be chaotic, but as a guest you feel like, oh, not a problem, I'm going here, or not a problem, and continually enjoying your experience. And it is the show. There's 1,000 things going on, but as a guest, you are not going to know any of them. You're going to enjoy your experience and have your food and enjoy your room, and that's the main thing. So elements are very important. And consistency. You want to keep it continuity on your elements also. Whereas if you're walking up to the restaurant and you're hearing Mexican music, then you go inside and it's French cuisine. That you don't want to throw the guest off like that. So that's really important. The volume of the music too.
That's something I was going to ask you actually. Because in so many places now, you're going in, and I don't know about you, but in Europe we like to sit around. You want to have
it's part of the experience.
Glass of wine. You want to have a nice conversation, nice food, and coffee afterwards. And if you can't hear each other speak, that is the most annoying thing. And you see that so many.
And that's
so
one
many
of the
places.
things too. You think of like, how is your service being performed as far as is it big clanky trays? Where is your dish room located? If you had a choice of where to put your doors to your dish room, you'd want to put it in the far end. You want to maybe put a barrier between them, a sound barrier, or a knee wall or something. Same thing with lighting. Every time, if you ever been in a restaurant and the kitchen door opens and all of a sudden this light comes out and hits you in the eye, Not every table is like that, but these are things that you have control over these things, and you can control them. And music is one of them too. Where what I like doing, and what's a fun thing, and I've done it before, is I think if you're a manager or designer, pretend like you're a guest. Go in, and I've sat in every seat in any restaurant I've worked in, right?
See what it's like.
And I've looked. What am I staring at? What am I staring at here? What am I staring at there? But that's important because you're not going to. There's a lot of components that you may not understand. That
If there's a draft,
if there's air conditioning is another thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that could ruin your meal.
These are things to think about.
Yeah,
You know, they're all components, and they're all going on live while you're at a hotel.
It's
while you're at a
you wouldn't
restaurant.
even think about this. It's like hotel and restaurant management. You know, you're sitting in an office and you're making up menus or something, right?
No, it's really challenging and interesting and complex, actually. You know.
Well, we talked about it earlier, but I wanted to mention Faulty Towers.
Oh yeah.
You said you hadn't watched it.
I'm not an expert on it. Yeah.
I'm a Brit, but Faulty Towers is like what not to do if you're in not just a restaurant, but a hotel. You know the premise. It's Basil Fawlty and his wife, and everything always goes wrong. And there's Manuel, the waiter. But I think that's kind of a sort of they should include that in the course. It's like how not to run a hotel.
Well. How to do it right is better than teaching what not to do. Because
you know, kidding.
but
it is funny,
you know, and in thinking of live environments, there are always going to be problems to manage. How you manage them is important, and I call it like a toolbox. You always prepare like, okay, what if if a guest dinner gets burned? What do you do? No, you assess the problem, you see, okay, what did they have? You talk to them.
Yeah.
There's different things that you can do to continually,
right.
Sustain their experience and not interfere with it.
Right.
And these are important things
What about this impossible? Let's role play. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm an impossible customer, which I'm usually not. I'm usually
Yeah.
quite compliant, and I can hear you in there. People in the control room. Yes. Yes, I'm usually a very nice person when I'm well rested. So I'm an impossible, and gosh, it's usually I hate to say this, but it's usually women with lots of money and little dogs in tow. There's something always wrong. The food is too long coming out, or it's cold, or the coffee isn't strong enough. I mean, whatever. How do you keep smiling when you've got somebody like this?
Well, the thing is, you can't be responsible for other people's days or what they're having. But they came in to enjoy themselves, or maybe take the edge off their bad day.
Yeah.
And the first thing to do, and always just think about, what can I do? What do you want? Can I fix it? Is it within my realm? Mm-hmm. If we're in a non-smoking restaurant and you're complaining about smoking, I'm sorry, ma'am, I cannot help you.
Right.
It's a non-smoke. What I can do, I can refer you. You can go outside, and I will hold your food. See that there are different things like you.
Yeah.
I can talk to you, and if it was in my realm, I could say I will hold you food for 10 minutes if you'd like to have a cigarette outside, or just anything I could think of that can accommodate you within my realm. I mean, there are times when you cannot accommodate a guest, and if you're honest with them, then it's not a bad thing, and you could say, ma'am, at this time I really cannot do that. I do know, and what you can do is you can have referrals. I know a restaurant that can accommodate you, and I will call them right now, and we'll see if I can get you a table there. I do know an area that restaurants that do allow pets in. I do know, but these are part of things that you don't just walk in. These are things that you think of before you come to the job. Like, what if a guest has this? What is my next step? How do I handle it?
Patience.
Yeah, it does take a lot of patience. It does.
Because people are getting more and more demanding.
Yeah, but you're in a demanding industry, and your object is to provide that service. Be it whatever type of environment, whether you're 4-star or whether you're a smaller hotel or whether you're a smaller restaurant. The philosophy is the same. Whether you have a great to-go and hamburger place, or whether you have a 4-star restaurant, the guest is coming in with that expectation, and you try and fulfill it. You try to accommodate them as best you can.
And be consistent.
If someone's coming in for hamburgers, you got to have ketchup, mustard, the condiments, and if they request a different condiment, the next time you have it for them. But just things like that.
What's your perfect scenario? I mean, if someone said, run this hotel for us or this restaurant, what's your perfect scenario?
My perfect scenario? You mean for me personally, or?
Yeah, I mean, if somebody was to say, this size hotel, run it for us, please, would you? Here's the job.
I prefer, I'll be honest, if I had my opportunity to be a general manager of a hotel, I prefer a boutique hotel
What is a boutique?
Boutique hotel's a smaller hotel,
Okay.
less rooms, not 250, not preferably with spa accommodations. I really I enjoyed that. There are many services that you can provide that add to the guest experience, and also you just making people feel better about themselves.
Right.
But that would be it. Small food and beverage accommodations. Yeah,
Here in Nashville?
Here in Asheville, bed and breakfast are wonderful to run too.
Yeah.
They're challenging because
24/7.
because of their size. It's a commitment. But if you're involved in a B&B, you know that ahead of time,
Yeah.
and you're
And it's usually your place.
Yeah.
It's usually somebody's.
I think I like the
big house.
small operations better because you get to develop a one-on-one relationship with regular guests too, which I've done in the past. I've worked in larger places than smaller,
Right.
and the smaller ones I noticed that I get Christmas cards from guests and get
really?
and you're just like, wow,
That's amazing.
yeah. But,
I do have a question. What about room number 13?
I have no idea about room number 13.
No, not room number. The floor number 13. In some hotels, do they not have a floor number 13?
I'm not.
Room number 13. There's something about that.
I'm not.
I
too,
watched
I'm
a
not
lot
too,
of Stephen King.
I'm not too. I'm not too.
You didn't seen. What was it? 1408. Somebody help me out here.
14. I've heard rumors that there are hotels without a 13th floor or room 13, but I really don't put any stock in superstition like that.
Yeah.
Now, if you there are different hotel markets,
Yeah.
and a niche market is haunted hotels, and there are some
really?
people who
You can
just
go
stay at
in
haunted
a-
hotels.
you can go and stay at hotels?
Yeah, there are tours of that, and but that's a whole different thing. That's
Yeah.
not room 13. But I don't pretty much pay too much attention to the
You're
superstition
down-to-earth
about
guy.
that. It's kind of hard to be hospital and say, don't stay in room 13,
Yeah.
or you hand someone the key,
Go anywhere but room 13.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to be the front desk person and hand that 13th
Yeah.
key over if I thought it wasn't
Yeah.
right, but
You should watch the movie though; it's pretty good.
yeah.
Just in case. I mean, you never know.
What when you travel, what was one of the better experiences that you've had at a hotel?
Oh boy.
And why?
You know what I find in the bigger hotels? They don't provide breakfast, and you end up paying like $30 or something for a good breakfast. I like a place where it's you can go and stay there and you can have coffee and
They have the
and
continental?
something in the morning.
Yeah.
Without having to go into your pocket. And you know what's really great as well if they've got some kind of transportation from an airport to the
accommodate
hotel.
you.
Yeah. That is amazing when that happens. 'Cause,
See, these are simple things that you can provide.
Absolutely, but when you've been on a plane for 7 hours, well, however long, right? You're standing there with your luggage, you're tired, you don't know where you are, you're possibly a completely new country, definitely another city, and you're standing there with all your luggage and you're tired, and you're thinking, now what? If you haven't booked a car,
right? And then even waking up in the morning and not having to. Until you get familiar with your environment, saying I can go down and get a cup of coffee or something.
Yeah,
to eat.
yeah, and it's there for you, and another thing, right? And this is again being from Britain. I love to have a coffee machine or some kind of beverage maker in the room.
In the room,
yeah,
right?
A coffee maker or a kettle or something like that.
Most hotels they started
They do
putting those
now,
in.
yeah,
they
they
started.
do
But
now.
that was another accommodation that I've seen the evolution of it that coming around as far as what guests are asking and how to like I said, to keep your guest happy.
Mm-hmm.
New hotels have new accommodations. A lot of hotels are including expanded room service and larger bathrooms and higher thread counts rather than and these are things that are becoming customary that are important to guest experience.
Simple is good too.
Yeah.
Simple is good.
Simple is good, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we stayed in places in Marathon, in the Keys, and it was a lovely place. It was nice. I mean, it was absolutely wonderful. I mean, it wasn't like a large-scale hotel. It was a sort of hotel slash
So-
motel, I
Multi-
guess.
yeah, lodge,
It
yeah.
didn't have like a big lobby or
Yeah.
anything like that. You were pretty much on your own,
Yeah.
but the service was good. It was right by the beach, and that's important.
Yeah.
By the beach. And I think what was really nice about that. It was they had a breakfast by the pool every morning.
Wow.
And coffee, so you could sit there in your bathing suit
Right.
and have a
And just
coffee, have some breakfast, and especially in a beach resort
And
like that. That's
those are things to
excellent.
listen to.
Yeah. I enjoyed that. I mean,
Yeah.
so it depends if you get up in early enough
Yeah.
to have breakfast or not, So where are we on time here? 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
We have 5 more minutes. Well, what else would you like to share? What about people that, are thinking of going into this industry? What do they need to do? What do they need to know about, certain courses?
I would highly. I mean, if you're in Buncombe County or this area, I would highly recommend the AB Tech's program. It's a fantastic program.
Mm-hmm.
I really, not to, I mean, when I entered the program, I was amazed at like building. I never thought I'd have to build a restaurant and draft it out and be an architect. I never,
I wouldn't have thought that either. No.
Yeah, and part of the program was classes in public speaking, communications, accounting, the business end of it. But if you're interested in getting into the hospitality industry, I think the first thing to do is figure out what type of person you are.
Yeah.
Do you like people? And try it out. Work a summer in a hotel, work a summer in a restaurant, and see whether you enjoy it or not.
I do have a question. So
Yeah.
when you go on vacation and you go in a hotel, you must be very aware of the service. Or do you try and forget about it because you're on vacation?
I'll be honest with you. If I'm away and on vacation, I'm the easiest person to please.
Oh, really?
I am aware, though. I mean, it's just fun.
Yeah.
Because it's just fun to say, if this were my hotel,
I'd do this.
This would have worked out a little better, but not in a critical way, in just a way like I try and figure it as a puzzle. Why is that happening?
Right,
For me, it's fun to sit down and I look at things and I say, why did that happen? Because could I fix that, or could I? It's more of a challenge thing. If I was in that position of that server or that manager, would I be able to? How would I handle the situation? How would I be able to fix it?
Right.
But me, I'm easy to enjoy. I mean, you're away. I mean, I'm pretty easy.
So long as the toilet flushes and you got water.
I'm not a complainer, and if there is a problem, I'm not.
There's a bed. There's a table.
I've got a pretty good mouth, so I usually let people know if there's something that could be fixed, and in an accommodable way,
Yeah. Do you have any nightmare stories yourself? When you asked me that earlier, and I'm trying to think. I don't think I've had a really bad experience.
Nightmare stories of travel.
You hear about people going to. We used to hear a lot about it in Britain. People used to go to Spain. They used to get sort of a really good deal on a vacation, and they'd go to the hotel, and it's being constructed or something. I think we've got 1 minute left. My goodness.
Well, we should say thank you to URTV Public Access.
Yes, please support public access.
Public Access in Asheville,
URTV.
live. URTV
Absolutely.
Channel 20.
And this is graduation. Tonight I am graduating, and and Kevin, did I get your name right this time, Kevin? Kevin is my fellow graduate. And thank you to John Blackwell for being such a lovely teacher. Although a little bit stern at times. No, he's a very, very nice teacher, and he actually does a live Thursday to Friday, so watch that.
4 to 7 on Thursday.
Oh, no, there you are.
We're all over Asheville.